Hello everyone, this is Dr. Hisham Saeed. This is the first video of the construction project delivery course, and this video is about construction project acquisition, which is the big picture of what we're talking about here of project delivery systems. So today in this video we'll learn about the factors and strategies that can affect the acquisition strategy in a construction project, and also identify the procurement methods, which one of the things that define an acquisition strategy for a construction project. So in a project, there are main participants that kind of come together and help in making this project come to life. So first, the owners who define the project and make decisions in defining, I need a hotel, I need a hospital, I need a school, and they define what they want to see in this building or this facility. Designers will listen to the owners and translate these requirements into designs that can be built. These designs were built by contractors, general contractors, who have subcontractors in the construction team that they have. And part of the construction team is suppliers. So those are not into installing things, but supplying materials and equipment in the building. So these are the main participants you have in a project. Getting these participants together, this is what we call the project delivery. And organizing these participants is what we call the project delivery system. How are you going to organize these participants to deliver the project in a way that can efficiently transform the owner requirements and goals of the project into reality here? So setting the project delivery system, how these people be kind of structured together and organized together, is a decision that's made by the owner of the project early in the project life. So even when the project is still in, like on a piece of paper or a sketch, the owner need to think, how I can deliver this project, how to bring people together to deliver this project for me. And project delivery system is part of a bigger picture, what we call the acquisition strategy of this project. So project delivery system is one thing, but there is also procurement method and contracting approach. Procurement method is how these teams will be selected, team members will be selected. Delivery systems is about how these team members will be organized. And then the last thing, how these team members will be paid. So we'll cover each one of these. Well, let's discuss first what are the factors that can that need to be considered by the owner when they make a decision for each one of these as part of that acquisition strategy. So we have four kind of categories of factors. The first one is the owner objectives. What are the goals of a typical owner in a construction project? First of all, owners want to have control. They want to have control in the design and have a say in the design decisions. They want to have a control in the project outcomes, so it's not like, here, go build me a building and come back. I have to define what I want in this building and have some control on how this defined requirement is translated in some way. And then also I want to have control on who will be working on my project, right? So that's the control aspect. The other thing is the relationship, how I want the relationships between me and the team participants and also the team members within them, how the relationships will be. Of course, no one's like adversaries, but in the same time, I need accountability. So I have to balance that. Do I like to be directly involved with everyone in the project team, consultants, sub-consultants, subcontractors, suppliers? Of course, the owner doesn't have the capacity to deal with every one of these. So typically you want to directly limit your direct interactions with the key participants, architects, engineers, and contractors, and have some indirect relationship with others through these key participants. You want to reduce claims. You don't want to, you want everyone happy, but at the same time have accountability. And of course, kind of part of the relationship is to get the experiences you need when the time you need them. So you want to have contractors involved in the design. Yes, they're not making the design, they're not creating the design, but they can have a say in the design decisions. The next other type of objective is budget. Of course, you want to have the lowest budgets you can for this project, but with the highest value. So you want to get the best value of the money you put. You want to get the best out of the bucks you invest in the project. Also, you want to establish this budget. You want to know how much this project will cost you early on. So you don't want to be hanging on and you don't know what this project will cost you. I want to know as early as possible. And also, once I know the budget, I don't like to change it that much as an owner, right? So if a contractor tells me that this will cost you $10 million, I want to commit to that because I want to finance this project through my own cash or getting a bank and ask for funds and ask for a credit line. So I don't want surprises. That's basically change orders here. The next thing is schedule. And I want certainty with the budget. I want certainty with the project time. So I want to know how long will be the duration. I want to avoid delays and also have some ability to accelerate things. So winter comes, I'm delayed, the contractor is delayed. A good contractor will be able to accelerate things when needed. And then lastly here, risk. Risk is a key factor in the construction business. The risk is there. It's just a matter of who takes that risk and how they will be compensated for it. What are the risk measures? How they can respond to these risky events? And of course, when you deal with multiple parties, they're providing different services to you, how the gaps between these services will be reduced or hopefully eliminated as much as you can. We call it the leaks between the scopes. So you want to reduce and eliminate risk as much as you can, or at least minimize the impact of these risky, uncertain events when delivering the project. So these are the goals, typical goals of a typical owner. The next is unique project considerations. Every project is different, and these are some of the examples here listed for like how a project can be different from within even the same owner organization. A project to a project is different, or between owners. So there's budget constraints, there's the size and complexity of the project, there's some critical project features that need to be considered, like site logistics, how much accessibility you have to the site, are there any key new technology that you have in this project, do you have any constraints from the government of how you're going to select members, so especially public owners of transit systems or highways, they have to be transparent of how you pick the team members of their projects and how involved their stakeholders are in defining the project outcome. The next group of factors here is the profile of the owner. Does the owner have any in-house expertise to manage the project or even design it? Or they need to outsource everything related to this project to consultants outside. So you need to think about what do I have in-house that can help with delivering this project and how much I need to outsource. What's the decision-making process? Sometimes we think that with a snap of a finger, everything will be done or decisions will be made quickly. That's if you are by yourself, but when you're an organization, an owner, like if you're dealing with a school, you have a school board that need to approve the budget. If you're dealing with a for-profit organization, there should be the CEO and the board of this organization to approve the project. So there's a decision-making process that's not spontaneous. So you have to make a decision. It takes time. And then finally, the culture of the organization. So the culture of Apple as a for-profit organization is different than the culture of any non-profit organization. So there is a difference in culture. Culture affects innovation, how much innovation you have in the building, and how much you're willing to pay for it. So culture here is a big difference. And then finally here, the marketplace considerations. So how the market, the economy locally and nationally can have an impact on the project. So availability of qualified construction design professionals. In the US here, we have access to a lot of talent, but if you're overseas, that's a big decision here, or a big factor to consider. What are the common delivery systems in the area you're doing the project in? It can really be a big factor if you're doing a project in a remote place with the subcontractors in that remote place are not used to a specific delivery system. So that can be a big factor here. Other things that can affect the price, schedule, or commercial terms. So, and if you are in a metropolitan area like in Seattle or the Bay Area or New York, everyone is busy. Everyone have projects to be involved in. That will affect how much the prices on the quotes you get or the bids, how much the schedules are reliable, and the commercial terms that people have leverage now. They have backlog of work and they don't need you as an owner to give them this project. The bonding environment is another thing. Bonding is something we'll learn about when you learn about bidding. But bonding is a guarantee that a surety company will guarantee that one party in a contract will fulfill the requirements. So a surety company can provide, surety to the owner that contractors will do the job, will finish the project. This bonding here has a capacity, so you cannot have a 500 million bond unless your assets in the company justify having this bond, or the surety company will be comfortable giving you this 500 million bond. Think of it like insurance. So your financial capacity will affect the bonding capacity you have. Finally, competing projects, we covered that. But now from the owner perspective, if you're like, Hilton or any chain of hotels, if you're building a new hotel, you need to be aware of the surrounding competing projects. So other chain of hotels is building in the same area, then schedule can be tough, factor here to consider. And you need to be aware of how you're going to compete with this project. So this will set the standards and requirements for the project. So these are the marketplace considerations with other things we covered before that make up, shape the acquisition strategy that the owner need to define. And this acquisition strategy, like we discussed before, includes procurement, project delivery systems, and contracting. Procurement, let's start with procurement here. Procurement is how the team members are selected. So let's explain that with this simple example. In a good day, your toilet is clogged and you need to fix it. So you need to have a plumber come and fix it. So how are you going to bring this plumber? How are you going to select this plumber? So take a moment and think, like, how can I select a plumber for this job? What are the ways I can select a plumber? What are the mental process that I will use to select a plumber? So after some thoughts, you think, I can select a plumber based on lowest price. So I can call people and tell them, give me a quote, and I'll select the one that gives me the lowest quote, right? And that's what we call bidding, right? So our bid. Another way is qualification based. So I will go to Yellow Pages or Yelp, whatever online resource that can show the qualifications and recommendations of people who dealt with that plumber, and you would select the plumber that have the highest reviews, right? Reviews would be an indication of qualifications and competence, right? So you select people on perceived and demonstrated competence. Or another way is best value. So what your perceived value of the services that are provided by different plumbers, and then you select based on that. So you're not thinking that much about cost, but you're selecting based on the innovation of how they're going to do the work, or how it's fitting your criteria of how that toilet will be fixed, right? So that's the best value. You're selecting based on the best value provided. Or the easiest thing is you already know a plumber and you dealt with before, so just skip all of that heck with it, and then just call the plumber and say, come, I need your help right away, instead of going through this hassle here. So that's called the sole sourcing. So of course, depending on your type, are you a public owner or private owner, you will have flexibility as a private owner typically to do whatever you want in most of the cases. But of course, in big organizations, they have policies that how are you going to procure services, and they will define which way to use in which case. Of course, public is not always that restrained. So in emergency situations, disasters, you can actually deal with sole source or best value. You don't have to deal with lowest price, which have been the typical way in public and managing public projects. So we'll talk more about these in future videos. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in future videos. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself and those around you.